Hi guys, Howard here with some more Police, Spirits in the Material World from the Ghost in the Machine album. And I've done quite a few tunes from the Police, and I keep getting people asking for more, okay? So I thought this would be a good one to do. I'm on a very clean tone with some chorusing, a la Andy Summers, of course. And so let's just get right into it. There's only a few parts to the tune, okay? 3 or 4 guitar parts that I'm going to cover. The Police started bringing in more keyboards around this time, so Andy's part is, it sounds like it's doubled on a keyboard of some kind, but the part is still based on the classic reggae groove, and sometimes this timing at the beginning of the tune is a little bit elusive, but it doesn't have to be, okay? Basically what you have is you have the downbeat, and then you have the upbeat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's what Andy's playing with these chords. Everything's on the upbeat, and so you want to approach it with upstrokes, okay? So let's just go over the chords. The first chord we have is A minor 9, then to a standard A minor, then to a G, and then to an E minor. So we are just using the first 4 strings, the bottom 4 strings for this. So let's talk a little bit about how you actually pull that off, okay? As I mentioned, it's on the upbeat, so we're using upstrokes, but all the chords are very staccato as well, which means you've got to apply some muting back here in between each chord. So there's a lot of muting. If I do it real slow, you can see that. Lots of muting so that the chords sound really staccato, so you're muting in between. And the first chord, the A minor 9th, is played 1 time. The straight A minor is played twice. G is played twice. And then 3 times on the E minor. So that's a cool little rhythm. So real slowly, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now you're going to do that, I think it's 8 times for the verse, but when you play the very last one, you don't play the E minor 3 times, they only play it twice, and then they jump off into the chorus, which lands on the downbeat, exactly the opposite of what they're doing for the verses, okay? So I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to play the chorus. I'll show you what is actually played on the guitar, but Sting is playing something different, which I'll explain in a second. And you can combine those two together. It's a little bit trickier to play, so we'll start with the easy way, which is... Okay, so let me just do that really slow. It's pretty easy. It's just a combination of major and minor thirds, double stops, all right? And you can see where I use the open G and B string in the riff. Right there, and then... Now you could use the open G and B string coming back as well, but I choose to play it right there, the 4th on the G string and the 5th on the D, because I think it sounds a little bit more powerful and stronger moving back to the riff. But feel free to play it either way. So let me do it really slow. Back to the verse again. So you're just flip-flopping between that upbeat and that downbeat, okay? Now, on that chorus, what I wanted to mention is you can play it just like that, or you can play it the hard way, okay? So what happens there is Andy's doing that, but Sting is playing this. So what that does is it adds another third to the mix, okay? And then we wind up with this. Sounds pretty cool, right? It's a bit difficult to play, but it does sound really cool. So you've got the tab up on the screen, and I'll just play it nice and slow. Very tricky to play, but again, I think it sounds really, really great, okay? So you're going to go through all of that again, and then when you come off of that second chorus, I believe it's the second chorus, we go to what you could call like a little miniature bridge, right? We come off of that part, I'll do Andy's part here, and we go right into it. Back to that main riff, right? So we already talked about Andy's part on the chorus, and then we'll talk about this bridge. So you connect it up. It's all thirds again, right? So we go. Right back to the riff as I mentioned before. Now, if you want to do it the way I was doing the chorus, you know, adding Sting's line in there, Sting also plays. Right? And that adds, again, another third to the bottom of the chord voicings, and it sounds really cool if you can play it that way. Right? It just sounds really cool like that. Granted, that's a fingerful to pull off, but it does sound really great, and especially if you're playing the chorus with the 3-note voicings as well. So let me play that again for you really slow. So again, that's a bit tricky to play as well, but it's a lot of fun. It sounds really great if you can get it in there. Okay, now the only other part to cover is that little keyboard line that we hear about midway through the song, maybe a little bit less, but that's fun to play on guitar as well. And you can see it on the tab. It's pretty easy to play, but a couple of notes. I'm doing it all with downstrokes to create that sort of consistency that you hear on an actual keyboard. If you use alternate strokes or something like that, it doesn't always capture that vibe very well. But you want to make the notes staccato, so you're really popping them with your left hand. Nice and slow. So there you go with another one from The Police. Just a few parts to cover, but it can be a little bit tricky to play depending on your choice of how to play it, right? But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be doing some more, so we'll see you guys real soon.